Okay.
Should we wait or start?
Yeah, we can start, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa Group Introduction to Bhagavad Gita class. So today we are in the session 9. Before we start, we'll offer prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Mancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim, yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam. So today we are in session 9. So actually we started off studying the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, trying to see what is Bhagavad Gita, what is Srila Prabhupada telling about the importance of Bhagavad Gita applying to the whole humanity, not only to a sect of a particular religion, because it speaks about Sanatan Dharma, eternal service of the eternal soul. So, and then we saw about the glories of reading Bhagavad Gita and the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita mainly, and the overview of the chapters. So in the 5 topics, the first one is Bhagavan or Ishvara, the controller. The second is Atma or Jiva, or about ourselves. And the third is Prakriti, or the material nature. And fourth is Karma, and the fifth is Kala. So we touched upon Ishvara, who is God, and how he's a supreme controller, and how Krishna showed the universal form, and how he's present as Brahman throughout this universe, and also he's present as Paramatma in everyone's heart, and he's completely cognizant of everything that's happening, and he's beyond time and space, and he's the one who knows past, present, and future. Some of the characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although he is present everywhere as Brahman, as that transcendence, and also although he is present as Paramatma in everyone's heart, he is still a person, but he's a transcendental person. He's a Supreme Personality of Godhead who is ready to reciprocate loving mellows with his devotees. So we saw that aspect, and then in the Jiva or Atma, we saw how we are eternally living, and this life is only a fragment of in our eternal journey. And we compared and contrasted what is body and what is soul, what is material and what is spiritual. And then so what is the technique or the science behind the soul taking on a material body. So we saw Prakriti, or the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion and ignorance, and how our food, the destination and the austerity, our determination, sacrifice, penance, um, the mode of worship, everything is categorized in the three modes of material nature. So Krishna is giving the signs so that we understand what kind of person we are, in which guna we are in. And then he is also giving us the signs of how to move from ignorance to passion to goodness, and finally spring above to Shuddha Sattva. So in this session, we'll see about Kala, the time factor. First, this is a most, I wouldn't say the most, but very, very interesting topic in the Bhagavad Gita. This is not to be found anywhere else except for Vedic literatures. This aspect of Vedic cosmology, or the time factor, the magnanimous amount of the calculation of the time, and then comparison of that time to the eternal time factor. So Kala is time factor. If you have Bhagavad Gita, you can take chapter 8, text 17. So if you see this chapter 8, it is titled as Attaining the Supreme. And then Arjuna is asking various questions, 5 questions at least, and then Krishna is answering 4 questions, and 5th question at length, that how do I think of you at the time of death? So in 8.16, he makes a very important and a pertinent point. Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartino Arjuna mamupetyatu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So he is, for a novice, for a new reader, I mean, it looks like Krishna is a marketing manager and he is giving advertisements to reach to his world. So again and again he says, come to me, Anityam Ashukam Lokam Imam Prapya Bhajasvamam. One who knows me, one who comes to me, and my abode is not illumined by sun or moon or electricity. In fact, the splendor of the sun and moon and electricity here comes from me. So what is this? Why he says that? Why he says this, that, come to my loka? Why? Because he says, if you are in this material world, even from the highest planet in the highest position, down to the lowest planet in the lowest position, nowhere you can be permanent. But you are a permanent spirit soul, but then you keep on changing from one body to another, from one planet to another, sometimes in good, sometimes in passion, and sometimes in ignorance, in all different kinds of bodily dresses. You keep changing. But ultimately, what is one thing common from Brahma Loka to Patala Loka is Punar Avartino Arjuna, means Punaha Avarti, again and again returning. Repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode never takes birth again. So that is a very important and valid piece of information the Lord is giving. And then in text 17, he goes to explain what is this duration of Brahma's one day. Anyone wants to read the shloka? Sahasra Yuga Paryantam.
Can read. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna Mataji. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Vidu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Jana. Thank you, Mataji.
Beautiful, Mataji. Thank you so much. So, by human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together is the duration of Brahma's one day. And such also is the duration of his night. 1,000 ages. We will come to it. What is the 1,000 ages? So now he's explaining Brahma's life. Brahma's day has a duration, and the Brahma's night also has a duration. That is 8.17. Then if we go to 8.18, the next verse, anyone wants to read?
Can Prahlad read?
Yeah, go ahead.
Avyaktadyakya sarva prabhavanti ahar agam ratri agama pralyante tatraivakta
Samyake. Good job, Prahlad.
samyake.
Good job. So next he says, when Brahma's day is manifest, this multitude of living entities comes into being, and at the arrival of Brahma's night, they are annihilated. What do you mean by they are annihilated? Because just in the second chapter, he's telling that the living entity is anityam. What is that? He is immutable, he is eternal, nityaha sarva gataha stanur achaloyam sanatanaha. So let's see what he meant, what he means by saying that Brahma's night, they are all annihilated. But then we'll go to text 19 now, and he concludes, he gives only these 3 verses, and he concludes this third verse by his conclusion here, by saying what's happening in Brahma and Brahma's creation. Anyone wants to read this?
I'll read, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you.
भूतग्रामः स एवायं भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्र्यागमे अवशपार्थ प्रभवति अहरागमे.
Thank you, Mataji. So again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being. And with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. So, and then, but in text 20, which is not in the scope of Kala, but he says, after explaining this, text 20, he says, yet there is another unmanifest nature, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and it is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Then he explains what is that part. But basically he says, so what is it? I mean, imagine if there was no purports of Prabhupada, how we could make sense of what Krishna is saying. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, he has put so much of effort, so much of toiling, and we know that he he went here and there, collected commentaries. Even when he was a grahastha, he used to write, and he had this manuscript of Bhagavad Gita, which by the will of Krishna was traded to for tea biscuits by his wife, and that point that facilitated Srila Prabhupada's sannyas. And then he said that I had a few children, and then Krishna, when I gave them up and I took a sannyas, Krishna gave me 5,000 children. So, but it's so much of determination and so much of I mean, Himalayan and beyond human efforts by Srila Prabhupada, that we are able to have the purports and we are able to read that in English. And also we read in Leelamrita how difficult was it to get this Bhagavad Gita printed. In the initial days, they used to send it to the many different publishers in New York, and they saw this and they thought that no one can make sense of this. How is there anyone
Don't touch your face.
who can
So,
make sense of this?
what's epic? Ma.
Yeah. So how you can make sense of this? So, nobody was interested to print this, thinking that, what kind of audience would read this. But then, after great efforts, then one publishing company, I think Macmillan, they agreed to publish it, but they had a condensed version. Then I heard that somebody said that Srila Prabhupada had even written more purports of this, but what we have is, ultimately what we got, but maybe in the future they will print Bhagavad Gita with fully what he had written. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now we'll see. We will read the purport of text 17 with the help of this picture. Chapter 8, text 17. So, by human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his one night. So, what is Brahma's day and night? Purport: the duration of the material universe is limited. So, first he starts with this: it's limited. It is manifested in cycles of kalpas. So you can figure out that this is a kalpa in this picture. A kalpa is a day of Brahma, and one day of Brahma consists of 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas. These are the 4 yugas or ages. So yugas are mentioned as ages, and 1,000 ages means 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas. That is Satya, Treta, Dwapara and Kali. So here we'll come to this thing. So there is Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. So Satya, the cycle of Satya is characterized by virtue, wisdom and religion, there being practically no ignorance and vice in Satya Yuga. And the Yuga lasts for 728 million years. So that is the Yuga duration of Satya Yuga. There he says practically no ignorance and vice. Then the next is in the Treta Yuga, vice is introduced, and this Yuga lasts for 1.296 million years. The next one is in Dwapara Yuga, there is an even greater decline in virtue and religion, vice increasing, and this Yuga lasts for 864,000 years. And finally, in Kali Yuga, the Yuga we have now been experiencing over the past 5,000 years, there is an abundance of strife, ignorance, irreligion, and vice, true virtue being practically non-existent. It's exactly opposite to Satya Yuga. And this Yuga lasts 432,000 years. So you can see the duration also, how Satya Yuga is more, Treta Yuga is 1/10 of it, Dwapara Yuga is 1/10 of it, and then Kali Yuga is the least, because the duration of the average lifespan also decreases like that. In Kali Yuga, vice increases to such a point that at the termination of the Yuga, the Supreme Lord himself appears as a Kalki Avatara, vanquishes the demons, saves his devotees, and commences another Satya Yuga. That's why it's a cycle. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali, and again Satya again. Then the process is set rolling again. These 4 yugas rotating 1,000 times comprise one day of Brahma, and the same number comprises one night. Brahma lives 100 such years and then dies. These 100 years by earth calculations total to 311 trillion and 40 billion earth years. By these calculations, the life of Brahma seems fantastic and interminable. It's true, right? We are even in Kali Yuga, we are just, average lifespan, active lifespan of 40-50 years. And then you can see where Brahma is. And comparison, this is, it's fantastic and interminable, okay, from our viewpoint. But then, from the viewpoint of eternity, it is as brief as a lightning flash. Can we imagine this comparison? It's as brief as a lightning flash. In the causal ocean, there are innumerable Brahmas rising and disappearing like bubbles in the Atlantic. Brahma and his creation are all part of the material universe, and therefore they are in constant flux or constant changing. So this is a Yuga timeline, and here you may wonder what is Manvantara. That is, there is Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali, 71 cycles of it makes one Manu's reign or Manvantara. That means Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali, like that way it rotates, and when there is 71 cycles, that is a lifespan of one Manu, and that's called Manvantara. So like that way, there are 14 Manus or 14 Manvantaras in one day of Brahma. Basically, one day of Brahma is divided into 14, and each part is called one Manvantara or the reign of one Manu, and one Manu's reign is 71 Divya Yugas. So approximately it is 1000 Divya Yuga. Divya Yuga means Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali combined is one Divya Yuga. So 1000 of this is one day of Brahma, and same way is Brahma as one night. That is only one day and one night. If you see the life of Brahma, this is only one day of Brahma. So life of Brahma consists of 100 such years. One day, and then there are 360 such days of Brahma in 1 year. And like that way, Brahma lives for 100 years. And that is much, much, much more. But then when compared to the eternity, he says that it is as brief as a lightning flash. And it is like Brahmas are rising and disappearing like bubbles in the Atlantic. That is the beautiful example Prabhupada has given, because it's constantly changing. Yeah, so this is about the time factor. The length and breadth of it is unimaginable to modern science. They are just figuring out few years, and we know, a recorded history of maybe maximum 2000 to 3000 years. Compare what is 2000 to 3000 years in this whole cosmic years, and then it keeps rotating again and again. So yeah, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, all these things will be taken into consideration very soon, because this is a science. And when we take to the science, all our life itself is this much, somewhere a non-existence. And what to speak of our problems? It becomes even then non-existent. That is why Vedic philosophy gives us information to expand our consciousness, so that we are not bogged down by what we have to face every day in life. So we saw that how vast and how lengthy is the time calculation, but at the same time how minutely the time is calculated. So if you see, it is in I think Canto 3 chapter 12 or something. So here is the divisions of time. and we say that Paramahanu is one smallest particle, and this Anu, this is 2 Paramanus is 1 Anu. Trisha Renu or hexatom is 3 Anus. And in Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami gives an example of what is hexatom. When the sunlight comes through the window, we see some particles, and the particles are always, rising up. That is hexatom. Okay, after seeing that only they made the theory that light is both wave and particle. But here it's already written that, And Truti, what is Truti? The time taken by sun to pass 3 Trisha Renus. And what is that? 8 by 13,500 of a second. I don't know, I'm not a mathematician, but this is like only in the 3rd, 4th level, modern time has some notation. Beyond this, it is not even calculable by modern thing. Then we have Veda and Lava. Here's what we say: Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha. You might have heard this very famous quote from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha. It is 8 by 45th of a second. And then there is Nimesha, there is Kshana, Kasta, Lagu, Nadika. So 30 minutes. 15 Lagus is 30 minutes. And 5 Shana is 8 seconds. And Muhurta is 2 Danda or 1 hour. We usually in the weddings, we put Muhurt. So what is a Muhurta? It's usually 45 minutes to 1 hour. And then Prahara or Yama are 6 or 7 Dandas, that is 3 hours. And day plus night is 4 plus 4. Praharas, 4 praharas in the day, 4 praharas in the night, 24 hours. That's why when there is Shivratri, there are 4 praharas and 4 types of Alankara and Puja is done. And also we see Lord Krishna's various pastimes according to the different praharas. And then there is fortnight, that is 15 days and nights. And then there is month, season, ayana, and then up to year. So time is measured in terms of it covering a certain space of atoms by the movement of the sun. And what is time? Time is something that that has its effect of destruction in everything. Suppose you keep something locked. Okay, I keep this house locked. Then definitely after 5 years or 6 years, Sita Priti Mataji was telling that, 7 years the house is locked and everything is worn out. How? Nobody uses it. Everything is left as it is. Why it is worn out? Because of the influence of time. By time, destruction happens every second. So that is how the time is present. Time is present as a controller. Krishna is present. Krishna says, Kalosmi aham loka kshayakrit pravruddho. When we saw that when Krishna took the universal form, Arjuna is perturbed, confused, bewildered, and he lost his sense of who he is and who the personality whom he is talking to is. After seeing all this wonderful manifestations, he asked, who are you? Who are you? So Krishna at that time answered, I am time. And then he also showed past, present, and future. Then there are different pralayas. So what is pralaya is annihilation. So the duration of Brahma's night, we saw Brahma's day and night. We saw that Brahma's day and Brahma's night. Brahma is also a living entity. Come on, he also needs rest, right? We do nothing.
Mataji, the voice is a bit low.
Yeah, is it?
Yes.
So we do nothing and still we want to sleep in the night and then take a nap time in the daytime and feeling so tired and worn out in this material body. When what to speak of Brahma? He's conscious and aware, and he has this universe. Brahma has 4 heads and he constantly gives. He decides who gets which body, and then in between there are avatars, and then the devas come to him. So many things at a time, and he also needs rest in the night. And the pralaya that happens at the end of Brahma's day is called Naimittika or occasional annihilation. And in this, complete annihilation doesn't take place. The higher planetary systems, they survive. And the lower planet, the sages and the other people who are present in the lower, they say that they go to the higher because they themselves are scared about seeing the lower planetary systems annihilated. So much of pralaya happens. And then Brahma's lifespan is 100 years, and after 100 years, Prakritika or total material annihilation takes place, because Brahma himself his lifetime is over and he is dead. So everything that he creates is amalgamated again. So 7 elements of material nature, beginning with Mahat, everything enters, and the universal egg, everything is destroyed. And then there is another, this Atyantika, that means when a person achieves a knowledge of the Absolute, and we understand and we act, and our karma is bank balance is zero, we have nothing to do with this material world, then all our subtle body and everything is annihilated. That is Atyantika or final. And then something that happens every moment, that is invisibly transforms the bodies of all created beings, is called Nitya Pralaya. From 1 year old to 2 year old baby, 3 year old, 10 years old, 50 years old, 55, 60, you can see the effect of time. And we are so proud to say that I am happy. We dare to say that I am happy and I'm not under anybody's control. I take shelter of anti-aging creams. How much our billion-dollar industry it is, you can't do it because nobody has done it before. Nobody has done it. They cannot bring the youth back, neither they can win over death. Yeah, some yogis have done it, which I have also personally witnessed, that some yogis who live for 200, 300 years, but hardly because they want to, and they know the art of expanding their lifetime, and then they want to finish everything in this life and goes back. And Prabhupada says that a bhakti yogi doesn't need to worry because we practice the smarana of the Lord. So it doesn't matter whether we live long, we don't need to do any extraneous effort to prolong our life. So yeah, there are other distractions after each manvantara. That's also named after the avatara. That is that's the coming of Matsya avatara time. So that's why you see in Abrahamic religions also it starts with a boat of Noah and the ark, and he has all the animals in the boat, and see Matsya, that's Matsya avatara. And after that's only up to manvantara, and that too, you know, they don't say that we can prove that, but that is a similarity that everything has come and started from Vedic origin. So now, after knowing about the time, the effect of time, Krishna explains what are the actions. So karma we perform and the reactions we get. Why is it important? Because after knowing everything, Bhagavan, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and finally we have to act. That is karma. It's very important because without acting, it's like writing an exam. You prepare for the exam throughout, and if you don't go and write the exam, then what is the use? So how we act and what we act based on all the knowledge is very important. So Krishna says the definition of karma in 8th chapter 3rd verse. Anybody wants to read?
Can I try, Mataji?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavodhyatma Uchyate Bhuta Bhavodbhava Karo Visarga Karma Samnyita. Thank you, Mataji.
Very nice, Mataji. Thank you. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the Self. So that is the first 2 lines. Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavo Adhyatma Uchyate. Because Arjuna is asking 8.1, Kim Tad Brahma, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma, Purushottama. Please tell me what are all this? Karma, Brahma, Adibhutam, Chakim Prokta, Adidaivam Kimuchyate. What are all this? He's asking. So action pertaining to the development of material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruitive activities. What is it? The action that causes the development of the material bodies is called karma. That is the definition he is giving. Because our next material body is based on our action in this material body, or our present material body is a result of our previous actions. So what is action and what is inaction? Can anyone read?
किं कर्म किम् अकर्मेति कवयो अपि अत्र मोहिताः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षये शुभात्.
Thank you, Mataji. So even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. So, Krishna is telling that even intelligent people are bewildered. And he in fact, dedicates 3 chapters, 3rd, 4th and 5th is always about karma, what to do, what not to do, and karma with jnana, and finally action with Krishna consciousness. And also he starts at the end of the 2nd chapter itself, because Arjuna's big doubt is, we saw in the 1st chapter that how one of his reasons for not to fight is that I will be implicated in sinful reaction. Because great people consider what action is, because they don't want to do something that would bring about their misfortune. Like as much as we are so careful when we drive, we don't want to, as soon as you see a flashing light, everybody drives in speed limit. If somebody is driving in speed limit suddenly, then that means that there is some flashing light, there is a police somewhere. So because if we cross the laws, we know that we get a ticket. We don't want to cross how much ever in a hurry we are. Of course in India it's different. Even there, tickets are being issued now and things are being controlled because of so many accidents. So the thing is, we don't want to cross the red light because we know. So similarly, like how we are always on the universal pathway in the road driving, that is our life. So we have to look out for red lights, yellow lights, green lights, signboards, what it is. So great people, they look up to it and then act, because they don't want to get implicated in reaction, because it is so easy that you might not even have intended to do it, but you would be implicated in something that you don't even know you are involved in. That much intricate it is, the material, the karma and vikarma. So after saying this, he's telling, like he's explaining the 3 kinds of karma. The 3 different kinds of karma are karmano hyapi bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gahana karmano gatihi. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. It's 4.17. Yeah. So, he says karma is one who the activity is pious or as per scriptural directions. Vikarma is against scriptural directions, and the activity is sinful, because if you do something against, if you cross the red light and if you keep crossing the red light, finally your license will be revoked. So in the human form of life, we keep doing vikarma, the license of human form will be revoked. Then We don't know whether we are an insect or a plant or whatever. Our consciousness is beaten up to that. So we don't want to do that. That is vikarma or sinful activities. And then there is akarma or those actions for which one does not suffer or enjoy any reaction. So the concept is, according to the definition, we need to try to fill our life with akarma activity. One of the akarma activity is now discussing Bhagavad Gita, what we are doing now. Because at least in this 1 hour time, we are not doing any karma that will produce any result, but at the same time, we are discussing the nectarian words that have emanated from the lotus mouth of the Lord, and that itself is able to vanquish our sufferings and many sinful reactions. So what is he saying in the purport? If one is serious about liberation from material bondage, you see, first of all, it is Bhagavad Gita is for a person who's opening his eyes and who's seeing around what is happening. One is serious about liberation from material bondage. One has to understand the distinctions between action, inaction, and unauthorized actions. So first of all, one has to understand. But is that enough? No. The next line he says, one has to apply oneself to such an analysis of action, reaction, and perverted actions, because it's a very difficult subject matter. To understand Krishna consciousness and action according to its modes, one has to learn one's relationship with the Supreme. That is, one who has learned perfectly knows that every living entity is an eternal servitor of the Lord, and that consequently one has to act in Krishna consciousness. The entire Bhagavad Gita is directed toward this conclusion. This is the glory of Srila Prabhupada. Any one purport, even if 4 lines we read, Bhagavad Gita itself is the essence of all the scriptures. And even if 4 lines of any purport of Srila Prabhupada, that would be the essence of whole Bhagavad Gita. So he says, the entire Bhagavad Gita is directed toward this conclusion. What is that conclusion? To understand Krishna consciousness first, and action according to its modes. One has to learn one's relationship with the Supreme. That is the first thing. That is, one who has learned perfectly knows that every living entity is the eternal servitor of the Lord, and that consequently one has to act in Krishna consciousness. So that kind of action is the real akarma. So after hearing this, that's why at the end of the 2nd chapter, at the beginning of the 3rd chapter, Arjuna is telling to Krishna, I mean, this is so good. I understand that. I mean, why should I engage in this ghastly warfare, killing and producing so much of sins? So I might as well not act, and I might engage myself in the study and in this process of yoga by meditation and by refraining from this ghastly warfare. That's what he's telling. But then for that, Krishna is telling, perform your prescribed duty. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Karma jyayo hya karmanaha. Sharira yatrapi chate. Na prasidyet akarmanaha. Even to maintain one's physical body, you cannot do that without work. Even if there is somebody is giving you a food, you need to make an effort to, take that food and eat. And for that, to digest what you eat, the body has to be cleansed every day. You need to take a bath, and you need to, do all the other things that is required for the body to function. So even that cannot be done without work. So how can you do anything with, you cannot escape work. That's what he's telling. And then he's giving his own example. Just because you have to fight this war, which is looming behind you, which is in fact your duty to do, you cannot shun the duty, because I myself am doing it. He's telling in 3.22 to convince Arjuna that you have to work. Without working, even when I come into this material world, I am not bound by karma, but I work. Anybody wants to read this?
न मे पार्थासि कर्तव्यं त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चन नानवाप्तम् अवाप्तव्यं वर्त एव च कर्मणि.
Thank you, Mataji. So, O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems. What work can someone prescribe for Krishna? There is no work prescribed for him. That means he doesn't need to do anything. Nor am I in want of anything. Nor have I a need to obtain anything. And yet, I am engaged in prescribed duties. So that's what his glory is. So why? Because if he doesn't do prescribed duty, in the next shloka he says, I think yadi aham na varteyam. Yeah, text 3.23. Anyone wants to read this shloka?
Yad hi aham na varteyam jatu karmani atandrita mama vratam manubratante manusya partha sarvase.
Thank you, Prahlad. That was a beautiful reading. So he says, why is he engaged in this? For if I ever failed to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. Because they say that Krishna came here, he didn't do, so why should I do? So for that sake, I am engaged. And one step further, he's saying, next shloka, if I did not perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings. So, yeah, so that's what he says, that it is a result of Krishna that not performing work. So one has to work, and if one is not working, that is a sinful action, because you're supposed to do something and you don't do that. You're supposed to turn in an assignment and you don't do that, you get low marks, your grade will get affected by that. So similarly, whatever prescribed activities we are supposed to do, we cannot escape that. Not doing that, we get only sinful reaction. So how to do that? So that is what we have to do. The trick is that we have to act, but at the same time we have to act in such a way that it doesn't produce any reaction. Anybody wants to read this?
Karmanya pashyed akarmani cha karmaya sa buddhiman manusyeshu sayukta kritsna karma krit.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So one who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. Very nicely you have put Srila Prabhupada's picture, Preeti Vilasini Mataji. Thank you so much. So he created a whole system of action, but that doesn't produce any reaction. So, from the morning Mangalarti to Japa to Bhagavata class, before the sunrise and before the day starts, that sets our consciousness, like beats the mind, like as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, beat the mind 100 times with a shoe or a broomstick. That is nothing but beat the mind with the Maha Mantra, constantly telling that every Maha Mantra, you are nothing but you are a servant of the Lord. You are nothing in this world. You are not the doer, but you are the servant of the Lord. You are not the controller, you are the servant of the Lord. After meeting the mind, and then we are prepared to do some transcendental action in this world, even cooking, that is offered. Everything that we do, is dovetailed in Krishna consciousness because of the genius effort of Srila Prabhupada, that he could bring in such a system which can be molded, which anybody in any culture from any background can mold their life to do fully in action in their life. So then, we go to job, then we earn money. So that may not be directly a service to the Lord, but we can use the money in the service of the Lord, like helping to build the temple, helping to distribute prasadam, helping to print and publish literatures, distribute literatures. So much require the funds, and we can engage our funds in that. In fact, the amount that we spend like that is what is the only thing that will be put into our account. Everything else that is in the bank account that we spend will be eaten away by our generations after generations. And like, Dhirubhai Ambani, from nowhere, he came with his intelligence, doing one business after another. From being a poor man, he became a super rich man. And we saw what happened. His two sons, they had a fight. I don't know what's the current thing now, but they had a huge fight and a split. So that's what happens. So whatever a person hard earned money, the other people, the generations, they try to take that and fight among themselves. Now, where is he? What was the effect he did? Did he take anything with him? Or is he enjoying the vast amount of wealth that he got? We don't know. We only know that he's not existent in this life, in this body. So no idea. So basically, if at all we want to be intelligent and we want to use the money that we have worked hard for, that has to go in the charity in Krishna consciousness. That is why, at least in US, they make a condition that after some amount, it has to go to charity. Otherwise, we would never give to charity. And charity for Krishna conscious purpose, that is the actual thing that will come with us. So why use such results? Why use our hard-earned money in the service of the Lord? So there are so many shlokas that is connected to this verse, but this is the you can say that one of such shlokas, because due to the lack of time, it's such a nice intricate flow of knowledge from one shloka to another shloka. Why do this? What is karma? What is reaction? What about the actions that we have already done in so many life? How to get rid of all of that? Krishna addresses all this. So this shloka, he says, Brahmani adaya karmani sangam tyaktva karotiyaha lipyate nasa papena padma patram imambasa. Padma patram, padma is lotus, patram is leaf, lotus leaf. So as the lotus leaf is untouched by water, one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. The conclusion is that a person without Krishna consciousness acts according to the concept of the material body and senses. But a person in Krishna consciousness acts according to the knowledge that the body is a property of Krishna and should therefore be engaged in the service of Krishna. If body is a property of Krishna, everything that's connected to the body is also a property of Krishna, and everything should be engaged in the service of the Lord. So he says, the very famous shloka, I forgot to include that. Yajnartat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samacharat. 3.9. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. So that is a great art, Yoga Karma Kaunchalam. This is actually the art of living. How to live in this life like a lotus leaf, it is untouched by water, because when we start living life and offering our work as a sacrifice to Vishnu, whatever previously we have done, that is also taken care of by him. So that's why he says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami. I deliver you from all the sinful reactions. Do not worry. Ma Suchaham. So we can pause here. Thank you all so much for listening. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. If you have any questions or comments or corrections, please share now. Hare Krishna.
Very nice class, Mataji.
Thank you.
Very nice class, Mataji. I second Prahlad's words. Very, very nice. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the Kala and Karma part of it. And yeah, even I mean, it looks like I missed a couple of verses, even the initial part where Krishna says, "Time I am." So yeah, anyway, but the whole thing, it was flowing so beautifully. And thank you for picking all these verses and explaining them in order. Thank you so much, Mataji. Anyone has any questions or comments or anything you want to ask Mataji, please go ahead. You can ask anything related to Kala or Karma.
Thank you, Mataji, for all the background work. I mean, you're expert in, presenting PowerPoints and such a nice thing. Because of this, we're able to understand better. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm learning something. So thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for such a beautiful class. Very nice explanation, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji, for reading the shlokas very nicely. You and Vrinda, we should call you like a piñata of shlokas. The moment somebody hits you there, shlokas only fall down. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for encouraging us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is Lakshmi Mataji there today?
Yes, Mataji, she is there on the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, very nice class. So many informations about the yoga and karma too. But yoga part was very little. Only that much Mataji, or we don't have to go more into it.
No, yoga part, summary of it. But then in Bhagavatam, it is dealt with in more detail. That what about each yuga, what happens, and the pralaya after each yuga. It is 12.4, Canto 12. I will send you the link, Mataji. You can read that for more information.
Sure, Mataji. Mataji, in that pralaya type, you were talking about the Atyantika, the final liberation.
Yeah.
So that one was not clear for me, Mataji, because it's related to we are talking about all the other pralaya, like 100 years of Brahma, that is material total annihilation. But this was going like liberation means for separate souls, or what does it mean, Mataji?
Okay, so I was trying to see exactly. So what happens during liberation, right? That's what you're asking, that pralaya?
No, my question is before that, after 100 years of Brahma, you said Prakritika, it was for entire material annihilation, right? For entire universe, entire total. But this was like liberation means for separate souls. You're talking like a human souls.
Yeah. So at the end of Brahma's day, at night, the living entities are actually active. But then they are compact in the body of Vishnu, and it is as good as them being annihilated. That's why it is said that annihilated, because they don't get to do any activity. So they are compact in the body of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu when Brahma sleeps in the night. But when the next day comes, again with whatever karma and everything they had, they come out in that particular body. So they are still in the material world only. Let me read that exact.
Mataji, she's asking about Atyantika Pralaya, whether it's to the souls or it is a general thing. She's asking for the third one, Mataji.
Oh, the third one, that is the soul getting liberated, right? Is that the one you are
Yes,
asking?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So this is in this pralaya, at the end of Brahma's night, the souls don't get liberated, but they are they are within the body of Vishnu. They come back again. But then, at the end of their material life, if everything is over, there is a verse like we read in Bhagavatam, right, Mataji? First, they merge the gross elements into the subtle elements, and then they merge the mind into intelligence into false ego, and then there is nothing material covering at all that is required for the liberated soul. And then that's when he gets liberated, and then he goes to the spiritual in the spiritual world. He gets a spiritual form. Actually, he has a spiritual form, but that is covered by all this material coverings. And Srila Prabhupada gives the example that when a person dives deep underwater, he has to have proper suits, and then a pipe for oxygen for breathing everything, because it's unnatural to be underwater. So similarly, for souls, it is unnatural to be, for soul who is eternal and spiritual, it's unnatural for us to be in this material world, which is temporary and matter, which is full of matter. So we get these coverings, like how the submarine diver gets the covering. We get the covering of gross body and subtle body. And when all of them are annihilated or merged into one another, that means there is no karma, nothing. How that happens, I don't know. That we just read that how Parikshit did that. And in many places, when we read that many great souls, when they leave, they do this. Right, Preeti Vilasni Mataji? You remember?
Yes, Mataji. Yes. So it's yes, Mataji. It's the individual soul's liberation by that process. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, so that is Atyantika Pralaya Mataji.
Oh, okay, Mataji. So after the total pralaya, when the night of the Brahmas over, when the next cycle begins, all the souls will be there. All the living entity will be there.
Yes.
So
yes.
okay, so that I understood, Mataji. Nice, thank
Yeah.
you. And one more question, Mataji. You said that action pertaining to the development of material bodies of the living entity is called karma. So now a question, Mataji. When we leave the gross body, the subtle body carries the mind, intelligence, and ego are there. So actually, the mind will carry a karma, or how does the body get ready for us to go into the next body?
That's a very nice question. It is mentioned that the super soul arranges that. What is that? Shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramatiishwarah grihitvaitani sanyati vayurgandhani vashyat srotram chakshuhu. 15.6 15.8 and 9, Mataji. 15 chapter, text 8 and text 9. The living entity in this material world carries its different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the air carries aromas. Thus, he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. So, karma, where is it stored? It may not be stored in the mind, because mind is a reservoir of desires. But then, as we saw that whatever we are doing, the karma and the reactions we get is being constantly monitored and noted down or recorded by the higher authorities. So they produce that we see, right, 10 directions, and so many witnesses are there. The sun is a witness, the moon is a witness, the air, the fire, the sky, the direction. So all of them record whatever we do, and then according to that record and according to what we deserve, we get the next body. So you see, in this shloka, in the last 4 lines, the individual soul is transmigrating from one body to another, and his present body and present activities are the background of its next body. One gets a different body according to karma, and he has to quit this body in due course. It is stated here that the subtle body, which carries the conception of the next body, develops another body in the next life. This process of transmigrating from one body to another and struggling while in this body is called kashati, or struggle for existence. So subtle body develops means subtle body has the enough data, and then it has been awarded by higher authorities. So the next shloka, if you see, the living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, that's okay. So it's been recorded. There should be a witness. Mataji, actually the Paramatma is a witness. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
So one more doubt, Mataji. While we leave the gross body and come out, the soul comes out. The Paramatma comes out with the soul.
Yes, Mataji.
And we immediately don't get another body, gross body. We have to go to experience for whatever we did or bad we did, for heaven or hell. So does the Paramatma come everywhere for witnessing everything?
Everywhere he comes.
Okay.
There is not actually the soul cannot live without the company of, without giving up the company of Paramatma, because he is there everywhere he comes.
Okay. So he is maybe the witness. He is one of the witness who is going to give us the next body.
Yeah. He is the main witness. See, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto Mattaha Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. From me comes remembrance, forgetfulness, and knowledge. And also, specifically in one verse, I'm searching for that verse where he says that by the mercy of the super soul, this transference. I think Prabhupada says that in the purport. A transference of one body to another body takes place by the mercy of the super soul. Yeah.
Okay, Mataji. So with the mercy of super soul only, the transmigration itself take place.
Right.
That's understood, Mataji. That is clear. Mataji, while talking about akarma, so Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna that we know whatever Arjuna does is akarma. So he was afraid it may be a vikarma. He may get the sinful reaction, or he may be account for the sinful activities. So does this apply for all the Pandavas who are acting like Bhima and everybody, or it only for Arjun?
No, everybody, Mataji.
Like everybody means everybody in the battle, or only the Pandavas team, I'm asking.
Oh, okay. Akarma. Yeah, whoever follows dharma. And see, Pandavas, they don't do anything without Krishna's counsel, right? They don't do anything without asking Krishna. Yudhishthira always asks Krishna, and whatever he does, he says directly he does. And they were all in, the Sakya Rasa serving the Lord. Like that. So, all of them are performing akarma.
Okay, Mataji. Yeah, that I had a doubt whether it was only for Arjun or for everybody. Yeah. Nice, Mataji. So the conclusion is we have to do karma. We should not restrain from doing our work. Like Arjun was telling, I'm not going to do my work. So Krishna says we have to do our work, but we have to be conscious that we do everything in Krishna conscious. So we come under akarma. We're not doing karma or vikarma. We don't have to do both.
Yes, Mataji.
We do only akarma. Yeah, that's nice, Mataji.
We have to be careful that, slowly the process of converting or whatever we do in Krishna consciousness, it happens. I mean, we don't even need to work. Prabhupada had designed such a system that, if we follow whatever the principles of 4 regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds, offering, and then cooperating in service, trying to employ our mind and intelligence in the service of the Lord, trying to give some donation for the Lord's purpose to spread His glories. We are covered. We just have to follow whatever Srila Prabhupada has said for us.
Yes, Mataji, that's a wonderful. Very nice class, Mataji. That was a nice conclusion with Kala and Karma. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much, by your very, very intelligent questions. It's not easy to ask such questions, and we are all benefited by that. Thank you.
Yeah, your class and your class, the way you take the class, Mataji, we're getting so many questions that the credit goes to you. But the class was so wonderful, Mataji. Thank you so much.
The credit goes to all the teachers, who have patiently taught me throughout, so many Siksha Gurus, and then we have Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual masters, by whose mercy this is even possible. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. So all glories to your all Guru Parambara, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So anybody has any other questions?
Indu Mataji, did you want to ask about that energy of the Brahman, that question?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I'll have to think. I kind of forgot. What was that, Mataji? Give me a few seconds, man.
If you know that, maybe you can send.
Yes, Mataji, I'll send it to you, Mataji.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just spaced out. I forgot.
Yeah, no problem, Mataji. I'm so thankful to Bhakti Sangha, Japa group and the organizers for giving me this opportunity. This is such a nice thing to prepare for this, to read and then to share whatever I know. It gives so much bliss and satisfaction. So yeah, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, can I think I kind of remember what my question was. So it was like, so Brahma Jyoti, how we perceive it is a light that's emanating, or an effulgence of the Lord. So effulgence to us, by taking the example of the sun, it's like a light, right?
Yeah.
So so it's also said that the Brahma Jyoti or Brahman does not have any energy, right? No energy, no material energy, no spiritual energy. But light is an energy of the Lord, right? A material energy of the Lord. So that was my question.
Yeah, Brahman has energy, spiritual energy. Brahman is spiritual energy, in fact.
Okay.
So Brahman means transcendental, and then it has all spiritual. We can't say it. So that's what, undescribable by material words. And Brahman is Brahmano hi pratishtaham amrita savyayasya cha. Chapter 14, last verse. Let me read that. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukasya ikantikasya cha. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable and eternal, and is the constitutional position of the ultimate happiness. The constitution of Brahman is immortality, imperishability, eternity, and happiness. Brahman is the beginning of transcendental realization. Paramatma, the super soul, is the middle, the second stage in transcendental realization, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate realization of the absolute truth. Therefore, both Paramatma and the impersonal Brahman are within the Supreme Person. So, if you read that purport, Mataji, yeah, so much things about there, about Brahman, the quality, and how Krishna is the basis of Brahman. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Mataji, when we say Brahman, right, we just talk about Brahman existence.
As a void, yeah.
Yeah, it's just existence. It's just eternal, a Sat feature mainly.
Sat, yes, that's
Yeah.
what I was
So
looking
then, how do we understand that as an energy? That I think that is her question.
How do we understand? Because it is a part of the Supreme Lord, right? And here he says, I am the Brahmanohi Pratishtaham, and I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. So Brahman is actually absolute truth, but partial manifestation of absolute truth. That's it. It's not full manifestation of absolute truth. So definitely Hare and Krishna. The Supreme Lord is energetic and energy. Right? Inferior and superior energy, we have all that, and internal and external energy. So fully his energy only. So Sat and see here it is said that Sukasyai Kantikasyacha. Sukasyai Kantikasyacha. It is eternal, is a position of ultimate happiness also, because that's what we were discussing. There is in the Nectar of Devotion, we were reading, right, how the Brahman, I will send that passage that Rupa Goswami compares the how Krishna consciousness or okay, so it is, let me, if I can share the screen, or maybe can you do this, Mataji, Nectar of Devotion, or maybe I can read that also. See,
no, you can. Sorry, Mataji, you can actually stop screen share and then reshare if you want to share. If you want to share.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. I'm going to that part in. Are you? I have to reshare, right?
Mataji, which chapter is it?
Nectar of Devotion.
Yes, Mataji.
Chapter 1. If you search happiness in Krishna consciousness.
Okay, let me see.
Oh, no, not this. Nectar of Devotion. Yeah, I think I got it. Let me share. Yeah, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, I couldn't share from the.
Oh, okay, no problem. Srila Rupa Goswami has analyzed the different sources of happiness. He has divided happiness into 3 categories, which are happiness derived from material enjoyment, happiness derived by identifying oneself with the Supreme Brahman, and happiness derived from Krishna consciousness. So in the Tantra Shastra, Lord Shiva speaks to his wife Sati in this way. My dear wife, a person who has surrendered himself at the lotus feet of Govinda and who has developed pure Krishna consciousness can be very easily awarded all the perfections desired by the impersonalists And beyond this, he can enjoy the happiness achieved by pure devotees. You see here, happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. The happiness derived from material perfection or understanding oneself to be Brahman is inferior because it's temporary. There is no preventing one's falling down from material happiness, and there is even every chance of falling down from the spiritual happiness derived by identifying oneself with an impersonal Brahman. Yeah. So he goes on to explain this, and finally, after explaining all the siddhis, because siddhis comes under material happiness. It's very nice. So what he says is Brahman happiness. There was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya known as Kolavecha Sridhar. Actually, a pure devotee does not aspire after any of these perfections, because the happiness derived from devotional service and Krishna consciousness is so transcendental and so unlimited, and no other happiness can compare to it. It is said that even a drop of happiness in Krishna consciousness stands beyond comparison with an ocean of happiness derived from any other activity. Thus, any person who has developed even a little quantity of pure devotional service can very easily kick out all the other kinds of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. And somewhere he also says that the happiness derived in Brahman is a drop compared to the happiness that's derived in serving the Lord.
Wow, this is amazing, Mataji, because even I was wondering how come Ananda is not associated with impersonal Brahman, and now you have explained what kind of happiness that is. That makes a perfect connection, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Mataji, because of
And thank you for the beautiful class. Yes, definitely.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, once we start reading, it's so wonderful, and I will send you that exact quote where he compares the Ananda, Brahmananda, and then compare to the Ananda with the Krishna consciousness.
Footprint of a calf and all that he says.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Okay, so
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you so much for the nice class, Mataji. Mataji, one doubt, Mataji. In Kshira Sagara Madan, so the poison will come. Actually, Krishna is there, right, Mataji? The gods and demigods and demons, and everyone will go to Shiva. So why is that, Mataji? Like, why Krishna is not able to? Maybe I'm asking a stupid doubt, but so
It is mentioned that Krishna has told them to go to Shiva because he wanted to glorify Lord Shiva. So let's go to that chapter, Bhagavatam. Where is it? Where did we read?
Eighth canto.
Yeah. 8th canto. And Lord Shiva says chapter 7, right?
Yeah.
Because of the churning rod, yeah, and then
Yeah, chapter 7.
Prabhuji, oh, that's a nice. Let me go to database because exactly it will be nice to see what question you have asked.
Yeah, Mataji, it is 8:7:21 verse.
Okay, 8:7.
21.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I want to read 19. So, text 19. So the translation is, O king, when that uncontrollable poison was forcefully spreading up and down in all directions, all the demigods, along with the Lord himself, approached Lord Shiva, Sadashiva. Feeling unsheltered and very much afraid, they sought shelter of him. Purport. One may question that since the Supreme Personality of Godhead was personally present, why did he accompany all the demigods and people in general to take shelter of Lord Shiva instead of intervening himself? In this connection, Srila Madhvacharya warns, Rudrasya yashasotaya swayam Vishnur visham vibhuhu na sanjahre samartopi vadyam choche prashantaye. Lord Vishnu was competent to rectify the situation. But in order to give credit to Lord Shiva, who later drank all the poison and kept in his neck, Lord Vishnu did not take action. Is that okay, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Any specific reason in this instance, like in what is the reason to glorify Shiva? Like, is there any reason behind in this situation, Mataji?
So,
I'm just
okay, see here, one more in this purport. Since Lord Shiva is in charge of annihilation, why should he be approached for protection, which is given by Lord Vishnu? Lord Brahma creates and Lord Shiva annihilates, but both Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are incarnations of Lord Vishnu and are known as Shakti Avesha Avataras. They are endowed with a special power like that of Lord Vishnu, who is actually all-pervading in their activities. Therefore, when prayers for protection are offered to Lord Shiva, actually Lord Vishnu is indicated, for otherwise Lord Shiva is meant for destruction. Lord Shiva is one of the Ishwaras or the controllers known as Shakti Avesh Avataras. Therefore, he can be addressed as having the qualities of Lord Vishnu. So because
Mataji, next verse also.
next verse also, right? Okay. O Lord, you are the cause of bondage and liberation of the entire universe because you are its ruler. Those who are advanced in spiritual consciousness surrender unto you, and therefore you are the cause of mitigating their distresses, and you are also the cause of their liberation. We therefore worship your Lordship. Actually, Lord Vishnu maintains and accomplishes all good fortune. If one has to take shelter of Lord Vishnu, why should the demigods take shelter of Lord Shiva? They did so because Lord Vishnu acts through Lord Shiva in the creation of the material world. Lord Shiva acts on behalf of Lord Vishnu. When the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 14.44 that he is the father of all living entities, Aham Bija Pradapita, this refers to actions performed by Lord Vishnu through Lord Shiva. Lord Vishnu is always untouched to material activities, but when material activities are to be performed, Lord Vishnu performs them through Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is therefore worshipped on the level of Lord Vishnu. When Lord Vishnu is untouched by the external energy, he is Lord Vishnu. But when he is in touch with the external energy, he appears in his feature as Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
Is that okay, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes, Mataji. Yeah.
We can ask further. I mean, this much I know from the books. Anybody
Yeah.
else wants to add? It's nice to hear Ragini and
Yes, Mataji.
Harini.
Harini. Yeah. Yes, yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Auntie, I mean Mataji Raghavi.
Oh, Raghavi. Okay, I'm sorry. Raghavi and Harini. Very nice.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. We'll still ask if, I mean, somebody, if they can shed more light on this. This much I know.
Mataji. I just entered in your meeting. I mean, I just want to ask. I did not get whole sense of your meeting. I just entered 10 minutes before. I just want to ask that somehow if we pray Lord Shiva, I don't know what I understood. Just asking you, if we pray Lord Shiva, then we can also reach Vishnu. I mean, he's also the carrier towards Vishnu.
Say that is not what is mentioned, Mataji. Actually, if we are very, very serious in praying to Lord Shiva, he guides us and he shows us a way to worship Lord Vishnu. Because in the feature of Lord Shiva doesn't give liberation, but his Papa Nasha means that he destroys the sinful activities of the entities and makes them, helps them to achieve the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. And that is why you see he always, throughout, he is chanting to Parvati the glories of Gita Mahatmya and the glories about the Supreme Lord. And he himself, what he says, Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasra Nama Tat Tulyam Rama Nama Varanane. I am taking the Lord Rama's names and I am chanting. So 3 times Lord Rama is equal to Sahasranama of Vishnu. So this is, and also it is mentioned, I forget which Purana, that for a person who leaves his body in Varanasi or Kashipuri, Lord Shiva comes in his ears and chants Ram, Ram, Ram. Otherwise, Shankaracharya wouldn't have said Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. He himself, being an incarnation of Lord Shiva, he says that ultimately for liberation, one has to worship Lord Vishnu or Govinda. But the worship of Lord Vishnu or Govinda includes and pleases and satisfies Lord Shiva so much. And we have many, many stories with respect to this. Recently, we saw in the Gita Mahatmya, the glory of the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Shiva is serving someone, and then Nandi Dev is asking, what is the reason that you are going behind him and serving? Then he gives the previous life and the previous life and the previous life of that person and how he has been chanting the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita throughout. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yeah, little, because these terms are very, I'm not that known with all these scriptures.
So are
But
you
somebody
joining for the first time?
Yes, in this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, yes. Second
Welcome.
time, once. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Your good wishes.
Welcome to the call, and we are so happy to have you here. So, do you have? Are you in the WhatsApp group? There are Bhagavatam and discussion.
Bhakti Sangha Japa group. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in Bhakti Sangha.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mataji, one of the great devotees who is my maternal aunt, she told me that because of something she see in me, then she say that you should to remedy out your sinful actions of past, that you are facing problems, and in the present you should chant Yate Rudra Shiva. It's in Ramcharitmanas. Shiv mantra in Kag Bhushundi was telling story to Garuna in that time. Yate Rudra Shiva Tanur Ghora Pap Kashini Tyanas Tanva Shantma Dishanta Vichakshi. So she told me to chant in my heart while doing my work with my kids, with my family, so that all my pap karms, because she know me internally, and my sinful actions will go away. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Along with that, you can chant this Maha Mantra also. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because in these words, Iti Shodashakam Nam Kali Kalmasha Nashanam. Whatever the effects of Kali Yuga is being nullified by these 16 syllables. So you can add along with the Shiva mantra, you can start chanting. We have Japmala. You may know where you stay?
In Uttar Pradesh.
In Uttar Pradesh. Okay. I mean, we can.
I'm doing that mala from 3 years.
Oh, good. Yeah.
In the morning, yeah, I do it. And sometimes when I get time, in the daytime also, in the night time also.
Yeah, regularly if you do that mala along with whatever you're doing, Shiv mantra, you can rest assured that you are in the path of destruction to your previous sinful reactions, and then the auspicious path of liberation from material bondage.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much for your true guidance.
Thank you, Mataji. May I know your name, Mataji?
Nimisha, and Nimisha Goyal.
Nimisha Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, if there are no other questions, we can end the call.
Thank you for the excellent session. And if there are no other comments, we can end the call here. I think it's already late for you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Her Grace Lalitangi Radha Mataji ki jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.